Shooting the shelf.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shooting the Shelf, Season 3, Episode 21. Got my stalwart, tried and true co-host with me here.
I thought I was going to have to break our streak tonight.
No.
It got close.
The streak, whether if you miss it or I miss it, we will soldier on.
Yeah.
The show must go on. And just thinking, after 3 years of doing this show, almost 3 years. I mean, granted, the song's only 6 months old or so for us, I think. But I keep forgetting that when that song winds down, that like it's time for us to do our thing. I keep thinking I'm here for someone else's show.
Like you're just watching.
I'm just watching.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're
So
like, oh crap, I'm live.
Curtis is with us tonight via the miracle of his power being restored. So if we lose Curtis, so that it wasn't that he didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
But storms rolling through his area, so hopefully your power and your connection stay on. I mean,
Yeah.
if
not, we do have a backup plan. Our buddy Joe Gunn solves it. If we got a problem, we'll jump in and take my place if my power goes back out, because we've been having some issues on and off here. So, yeah. So if you see me disappear, just know Joe's going to come take my place, and he looks better than me anyway. So, you know, it's a win-win.
I mean,
so.
What?
You want me to call out the folks in the chat?
Yeah, why don't you say tell us who's in the chat, Curtis?
Cool. Well, we've got the first 58 out there. We got JMax77, Van Johnson, David Williams, who just did an awesome shirt for Dorclair. Not sure if you guys seen it, but check that out. Great work. And then Dave Orkin is the one that printed those for him. So yeah, check that out. We got I am TJ Williams. The H is silent. Joe, we've got Joe Martinez out there, Alberto Morales, Guaisagüe, Echevarria.
There we go.
We've got Wholesome Warlock, Legends Collector 1321, Darla Ackerman. Hey, I know her. Joel Ramig, V Dog, Joe Gonzalez, which we talked about a second ago. Carver Customs, Brian Lynn. Dockin is out there. Dirk's Designs. Jordan Gasly and Anthony House Seal. You know, we must be talking about dwarves because House Seal is here. So there you go.
That's true. And we've got a conversation going. I'm not going to make the little jokes because that's good in comments, but I mean I love the dwarves too. I've got 2 custom dwarfs sitting right here on my desk. And I've got
we're bigger than that. I mean, we're going to have to step up our game because
I've got at least 5 more on the shelf back there to make. So,
all right.
Well, so tonight,
get your phone books ready to sit on and your booster seats because we are going to talk some little people.
Oh my goodness. I mean, look, that we don't need the seats raised for them to be noticed or heard, so we can be at eye level, because amongst the dwarf community, the dwarf fan community of Mythic Legions, they're probably the most visible and the most loud in the best of ways.
Well, and probably the sturdiest.
You would think so. I mean, there's at least one I know people don't think is as sturdy.
Okay,
but Ragna, you put her on a woolly mammoth, she's not going anywhere.
That's true.
At least that's what I did. Folks, give a digital warm welcome to the one and only Matt Stein. Welcome to the shelf.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Just in silence, trying to scream at the little jokes. It just everybody. I'm 6'1", so I'm not an actual dwarf. I'm just a dwarf lover.
Well, yeah, we can't wait to look at some of your stuff. I know, we've featured a few of your things on shelf selections here over the last year or so, and that's actually what we're going into next. So,
real quick before we pull that up,
yeah, go ahead.
I have to pull up the first 58's comment at the top of the show.
All right,
and Matt already saw this, so I'm sorry. The dry erase board is the most remarkable invention.
It's true.
That just. Chef's kiss. Love it.
Very nice.
And true.
Very nice. So shelf selections, for those of you just turning in, are pictures that have inspired Jesse and I throughout the week. And we pick 4 each, not more than 4, because then I get yelled at by Jesse. So I do have to limit myself to 4. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with those. Jesse and I will talk about it. And then, Matt, if you have any comments, feel free to throw them out there.
I mean, you find a way to throw out more than 4. Sometimes. This
is my first one. This is from Nerd Mythical on Instagram. And I just thought, not only was this a really awesome build, the way that this came together, but also just kind of a cute little, fancy pose there. So he had a few different shots of this one up there. But yeah, I just like the way this came together. Mix of, Kalian and Ambira, and I can't remember who the cape was from. I don't know. I don't remember.
Is that a blue? Is that the not
is that the gray?
The new
yeah,
gray?
the new gray, probably.
Looks like it.
So yeah, just a nice little cool build here. And yeah, I love a nice little pop and swap where the colors match and look nice together. So there you go.
Yeah, I like the swaps here. I mean, blue and green's a great color combo in my opinion, especially on that Ambira body with that yellowy tone. I do like the pose. I kind of wish the reflection on that screen behind there wasn't right behind that left hand, because I almost didn't see that until you said it. Almost looks like she's doing like Jinx from Arcane or something, that's kind of like playful, like, oh hey guys, it's just me, I'm a cute girl. You're all dead.
Right. Yeah. Matt, you got anything on this one?
I do some pop and swaps, but I'm always amazed at how some people's brains work with pop and swaps.
Yeah.
Like I'll see something and I'll be like, I would have never thought about putting those combinations together at all.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously one of the best in the business is Dorklayer. He does a ton of those on his reviews and stuff. And the one thing I, remember him saying on the pop and swaps is just kind of really thinking about the colors of things. And, but whether it's armor or skin tone or whatever, just thinking about colors. And when, you see a new figure, you're like, oh, well, that matches this or matches that or whatever. And then just kind of putting those light colors together. And it tends to work. And you can kind of see that here. So, yeah, for those of you out there that are trying to your hand at popping and swapping, try to match some colors up from different figures and see what happens. So next one is Jesse's.
So this one is from Mark Houseseal, brother to Anthony Houseseal, who was or may still be in the chat. So please don't start throwing things at us because we picked your brother's picture. Or I did. This is I gotta say, making a custom tribute figure to I almost said the wrong guy. Ulysses S. Grant was not anything I saw anyone doing, but these parts, it just really hit just right. I just thought this was a really cool new take. The closest thing I could say I've seen to something like this would be Tanya McCoy's mascot. I'm not calling him a mascot, but just that out of the box, for Mythic Customs and stuff. And it's clearly like the Marley body with some of the Father Christmas head, and no idea where that hat came from, but just painting those crisp yellow gloves just is really striking. And I think you did a really good job with it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, he actually messaged me this the other day, and he said, I'm not so bad when I don't have to paint eyes, because he used that 4 Horsemen head, and so he painted the beard but didn't have to repaint the eyes on there. And I mean, that's good insight on his part. He knows kind of what things are in his wheelhouse and what things he still needs some practice on. But I mean, the things that are in his wheelhouse on here, with the repaint and the buttons and the gloves and everything, like he nailed all that. So, and you can immediately, I mean, you look at this and you immediately know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark did a great job on this. Obviously he is continuing to grow and improve like we all are. But yeah, he did a great job on this one. So, Matt, you got anything on this one?
No, it's great. Like, again, it's one of those, every now and then I like to come up with a weird idea to do, but But when I see something like this, I'm like, I would have thought of that. Like, there's probably one guy that thought of that ever out of all of us that customize, and it's just cool when I see something like that.
Yeah. Here is my next one. And this is on Instagram, lights_cameras_action figures. And just a really cool shot. I feel like this kind of looks like a comic book cover, and obviously there's some, post-production work that was done on this photo, but I mean, all of these are action figures. That Sentinel base comes with the Mezco Wolverine. All of these are figures. I believe they're actually all Mafex, with the exception of the Rogue and the Sentinel piece. But yeah, just a really cool look of that group. Nice little posing and everything, and it just hit me as kind of something that would be right on the cover of a comic book. So
yeah, this is great. Like they need to go back in and work the title back in there with like the Blackbird, like right on in front of the X. Put the little window box up there, like crop the faces out and put them in there or something. Yeah, like I could see this because they've been doing toy photography alternate covers in recent years, like actual toy photography, and I think this would be a great one to see on the new X-Men books coming out. They're also shiny.
Yeah.
It makes me miss X-Men 97. That's all it does for me. It's gonna be a long wait for season 2.
Yeah.
So here's Jesse's next one.
So I thought we were going to have a little bit of a theme going with like a head and cloak situation between Curtis's first pick and mine. This one, but this is Mythic Customs. You guys, if you're in the Mythic and Legions community at all, you might have heard of this guy. But I thought this was just a really fun swap with the new Figure Obscura Bastet figure with Kalen Shun's head. I guess is it Altair Zylonis? Is that the Gray's name?
Sure.
One of the new staff.
Don't ask me on the names.
Yeah.
But it looks like is that a repainted Red Death loin piece?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
I just thought this was a really cool look, and I like that her head works with the Mbira body and on the Bastet body because she's got that color fade.
The only like change on this one was the paint on that waist piece, and then he also said he had to dig out some of it because that's meant for a 1.0 body and this is a 2.0. I guess he had to carve some of the inside out in order to make it work.
Okay.
But everything else is pretty much just pop and swap. So I mean this my thick customs.
Oh my gosh, it does say that.
Yeah, he's doing really good. Really good job at the thick customs that he's trying, and I think he's going somewhere in this business. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah.
I just if I can throw one more thing on there.
Sure.
I also really like the lighting, kind of like the down low light. Like this looks like the outside of an actual like cathedral or some sort of Gothic building. That's got like modern lights, and this is some sort of being coming from some otherworldly dimension. I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Shout out to Crashbox Customs and their Echelon 2. So.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy is the king of a bunch of part swaps with one or two key pieces painted, and it looks like a brand new figure.
Oh, is that who this is? Okay, gotcha. Okay, got it. Okay.
There's a chance.
Yeah, well, he's doing well. Here's my next one. And
I told you got to find a way to get more than one.
It's a way it's a little cheater one. But this was a single post by Emil Wickman. And I kind of thought of this as like the Brady Bunch if they were a lot more attractive. And it's just
have Trapjaw is the
the
maid.
Yeah. So it just kind of illustrates like just the amount of crazy, cool, awesome stuff that Emil does. Cause all of this stuff is from this year. We're 5 months into the year and he's done all of this stuff this year. It's just ridiculous. Cause it's not like these are simple pop and swaps or little paint here and there. I mean, these are full out customs, like cutting pieces, doing some sculpting, using things in ways that nobody's really ever done before, and yet he's just putting out fire after fire. So I wanted to throw this up here because I thought it was a good illustration of just how much quality stuff he puts out on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm just amazed by it. He's so great.
Yeah, I folks, this was not like an intentional like suck up to the big dogs episode. But yeah, this is amazing. Like Emil, and like the cool thing I think about Emil that he's really trying to do, or at least I feel like he said he was really focusing on this year, is like he'll add stuff that he'll sculpt and things onto it, but he's using, like, as far as the figures and the parts, as much as possible is pure, Four Horsemen Mythic custom, or Mythic Cosmic Figure Obscura parts. I know we talked about the Ahsoka a couple weeks ago, how like that's the red demon head from the heads pack that's been inverted, shaved out, and a Ziri face, like stuck in there, and that just blows my mind. That
I think on this whole picture, all 9 of these customs, I think the only non-mythic parts are the head for the bat and the head for the Colossus.
That's
everything
right.
else I think is mythic parts. So
okay.
What's the Death Dealer head?
It is, I think it's the outside of like the scapular, which was also the Sir Gerard, but then like the helmet piece, like for the like the Gorgo kind of helmet inside of that, and then with horns on the outside from another helmet. So it's just like, and that's what he just carves things up. And like the Ahsoka one, we did a whole thing about that when the Ahsoka one came out, where he took the red demon head and turned it upside down and carved out the inside of it and used that for like her headdress kind of thing. It's just using things in just such unique ways. The Carnage down in the corner, like the little things coming off the Carnage are like the ties that come with the Mythic Legion figures, but just like painted and posed in a unique way. So yeah, just really cool stuff, and just super inspiring. I'm actually working on, probably my biggest custom that I've ever done, and I'm really trying my hardest to try to keep it as much mythic as possible and play in that Emil space. And it's interesting. It's a lot of work. So that's what just impressed me with this one, is just, as much work as he's doing on these things, and they're full custom, full paint jobs and everything, to be able to put out this much quantity as well as quality is just awesome. So,
I mean, when you put it that way, GG, I guess it's just like, if it's the end, if you're at laundry day and you don't have the ability to do laundry, just turn it upside down and flip it.
Yeah.
You got one more day.
Yeah. Slap it, flip it, all that kind of stuff.
Extra bonus points for doing Chrono from Chrono Trigger. We see a lot of Marvel and so, but Chrono Trigger, I mean, that's a deep cut.
Yeah. Well, I know he's been doing some more commissions and stuff this year. So people will come to him with ones, and some of them he absolutely knows and he jumps on the chance. And then some of them he has no idea and has to do a bunch of research on. And I think that's one of the ones that he had to do quite a bit of research on and stuff. So he's having fun with it and just killing it. So here is Jesse's next one.
So this might be a little like less of stuff in a picture, but this one from bear.blaze on Instagram just really captured. I mean, this is gorgeous. Like, just, I believe this is a planetary dog head, but he's got like kind of the, like the liver spots, in a couple places on the face, and just, you see the highlights on the little bit of furrowing on the brow and stuff. It just looks like, it looks almost to me like a face you would see in like a stop motion like claymation movie or something, like where they'll, they've got the different faces and expressions that they would swap out, like A Nightmare Before Christmas or something. Like this doesn't look like painted 3D resin. It's just got so much life and personality to it, and yeah, it just really jumped out at me. So
yeah, I mean, I saw you had submitted this pic, and I actually had to go to his Instagram and take a look at it and blow it up and stuff, because I mean, this is just phenomenal. And it just, I actually thought, like, when I first saw this, I was like, man, it looks like something out of like a Pixar film, or like off of like BFG or something. The skin tones, the depth in the different crevices around the eyes, the little kind of reddish on the nose, the liver spots, the even the irises and stuff itself, like, I mean, just absolutely killed it. Even just the white beard and stuff, it's not just a flat white. Like, you can see there's some depth in the color and stuff within the crevices. Man, Blaze has just been killing it. He just does such great work that it's almost too pretty for a Mythic Legions figure. Like, it kind of stands out a little bit because it is so dang realistic. He's just doing a great job. So
yeah, I'm always very intimidated when I see somebody's skin paint like that. I don't even know how that's possible. But yeah, his stuff is amazing. I follow him and see all his stuff. It's just great.
Yeah, just great work. And this is my last one for the day. And this was a new Instagram for me. This is KDAUZ 27. And I may have been specifically looking for a McFarlane blue or red Superman picture to throw in this week, because I did get my blue and red Superman this week from McFarlane, and I absolutely love those figures. And so I was looking at a bunch of these, and this was the one that really just hit me. Between the little effects that he's got on there and the lighting, Trevor would be really proud of this photo. And it just, man, I just fell in love with it. So I wanted to show this off. Love this figure. I think McFarlane did a great job, and this gentleman did an amazing photo on it. So
yeah, this is really cool. I can hear that like kind of like sizzling, crackling, like energy sound effects going on, and just like the tension of build up in sound effects or whatever, if this was like a scene in a movie or something. So the lighting on this is really cool. That really silhouetted face, or shadowed face, like the rest of the figure is really lit up, but I love that the face is darker. I think that's really cool.
Except for the eyes.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the light is coming out of the chest. Like it's a, I don't know if that's post-production stuff, but it's pretty dang good looking.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's interesting, Jesse, that you say you hear like the sizzling, crackling, because what I hear is blue light, blue light, blue light, blue light, blue light, blue light. That's what I heard. So.
Sorry, Trevor. Apparently, in keeping the dwarf jokes down, Curtis is reverting to blue light jokes tonight.
It is a blue light, is it not? Am I lying? That's a blue light?
No,
okay.
You're correct.
Okay. All right. Last one for the day.
So once again, Kaylin Shun's getting a lot of love in our picks this week in various forms. So here she is in her full figure format. I can't wait to get this figure. She's the one I think I'm most excited for from this wave. I think just the combination of like the tech parts, the couple of mythic parts in there, the soft goods. I think this is a really fun character. And I just thought, and this is Jurassic_Jesse, not related to me at all. But spells his name.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I like this kind of like moody, this, I don't know where he's located, but this feels kind of like, like somewhere up up New England or, you know, like Pacific Northwest or something. It just feels like this kind of like moody, wet, you know, dreary, rainy day or something that she's slogging through some muddy outpost for some mission or something. But I just thought this was a really cool shot.
Yeah, I mean, we love our outdoor shots. You know, they're always fun, and you get a little blurred background with the figure focused in the front, and just a really cool, you know, way that that's set up. And I think we're going to continue to see this figure in a lot of, you know, whether it's pop and swaps or toy photography. It is a great figure. And, you know, that whole wave, it seems like people have been really impressed. The ones that have gotten it in hand so far. I can't wait to get mine. But yeah, I mean, that whole wave looks amazing. So hopefully you guys haven't been sleeping on Cosmic, because if you do, if you have, you're going to have to go back and get some, because man, this thing is just picking up speed, and I think it's just going to keep getting better. So
yeah, it might be my favorite, because I got my all in last week, or whatever it was. This might be my favorite wave so far. And I thought, like, for sure I was going to want to display the unmasked head. But when I got that helmeted head with the putting the lettering on the helmet thing,
yeah,
I couldn't display it any other way but like that. Yeah, great wave. It's even the bug guy, which I wasn't 100% sold on. Getting him in hand, and I saw him at Toyland and stuff, but actually getting him in hand, I wish he had a helmeted head, so I need to find one so I can paint up like My Thick Customs did.
Yeah, they did a good job.
But yeah, the whole wave's great though, and the Tusk Pilot is insane.
Yeah, I love the lettering on the I guess the visor part or whatever you call that. It's on
very
the top
steampunky. Like it's very, it's awesome.
Yeah, even if I used the other head, I would have to have her holding that, because that's got to be displayed somehow, because it's just, yeah, it's amazing. So,
and the soft goods are insane on that as well.
Which I saw C. Jessam in the chat earlier. So if you're still watching, major props on, you know, the prototypes that you guys have been doing.
I just opened up a Demistros Friday night, and it was the first one that I had opened, and man, I tell you what, the soft goods on that are amazing. I love that.
Kills me. You've had that for almost a year.
No, I didn't open. I didn't want to open the PowerCon one, because I waited till I got the one from the in-stock sale. So
I see.
Yeah, I got the one that you got me from PowerCon, but I wanted to keep that one in box because it was special. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we get those soft goods in these figures. I mean, I've bought a lot of third-party soft goods over the years. I mean, spending $30 on some soft goods is nothing.
Oh yeah.
And it's tossed in with a $40 or $50 figure.
I mean, you can kind of look at that on everything. Like even when they throw in an extra head, I mean, how many of us, you know, pay an extra, you know, $15 for a head and then paint it, or pay $30, $40 for a painted head from somebody, and they're just throwing an extra head for free that you can use on a different figure. Yeah, but the soft goods, everything else, like even the belts and stuff, like, you know, I know there's some companies that I've bought that stuff in the past from, just those things. And yeah, it's that you're getting so much value nowadays for the same price of figures that they've had for the last, you know, 5 years. It's kind of ridiculous. But before we close this out, I did have a couple things that I wanted to pull up from Brian Lynn from Carver Customs. First is this post that he did, and I didn't get the picture on here because it was going to make it to where you couldn't read any of this, but said a couple years back
on here.
What's that? Yeah, I didn't want to fit another picture in here. Jesse would have yelled at me. He posted this is a couple days ago. He said a couple years back, the Collector 77 on Instagram started Adventure Party. It was a lot of fun seeing the parties everyone posted. Jeremy Gerard, I believe that is the My Thick Customs guy, even did a My Thick Conversations featuring his party. So one night while talking with David Williams, we thought it would be fun to bring it back since it's been a while. So if you'd like to take part and build your own adventure party, post it with the hashtag AdventureParty24. So for any of you that weren't around a couple years ago, basically this is just, you're taking some figures from your collection that you think would make an interesting party together. They don't have to be ones in the same faction or anything that has like bios attached to one another. They could be whatever figures you'd want, and you put them together, take a photo, post it with this adventure party. But then after he posted that one, he kind of upped the ante a little bit. He said, let's add a little bit more fun to the hashtag Adventure Party 24 post I made the other day. All the posts with the hashtag will be entered in a prize wheel ending on 6:30, and winner will get a Carver Customs mystery care package. So you guys have until the end of next month to get your adventure parties posted. So this is a little fun thing going on in the Cabal. So if you're in the Cabal and you want to participate, just make sure you use that hashtag, and that's it. You're entered. So, all right. Jesse, I know you had done one of these a couple years ago when this first came around. Any thoughts on this?
I think it's a lot of fun. I definitely have done customs or gotten new figures that I would want to incorporate into a new shot. So I'm definitely going to participate in this. I not with any hopes of winning, but just it's just fun to like we on OffWorld on Friday night. I thought we were building adventure parties with action heroes for movies and not doing a battle royale. So that's how I picked my characters. So I like that I can now shift my poor failure and understanding that to this. And,
nice.
Yeah. So.
And the fun thing is you can build it however you want. Like if you want a well-balanced team with, one beefy character and a magic user and this, and you can do it however you want. Or you can make them all beefy, or you can make them all, you could have all girls, or you could have all, furry creatures, or, whatever it is that you want to do. So, figure out what your adventure party looks like, get it posted, and get entered.
Matt Stein is in the chat.
Nice. I was just saying hello.
Matt, is this something that you did over the last year or two, or is this something you're interested in participating in this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. I didn't do it last year. So it's always fun to try some of these things. It's winning's cool and all, but I just want to try it, see what it looks like.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, that is everything that I had for that. So now I've
got
back.
Something.
Go ahead.
If I can bring this up before we let me share my screen. So first of all, thanks again to everybody for the congrats on joining the Wolf King team. That's been a lot of fun becoming a part of that crew. But more importantly than me joining the team, this weekend we've got the Wolf King sale. I guess I brought this up to bring the picture up. This is ridiculous. And in regards to V-Dog's comment, no, I am not going to get grills for my teeth. Like my gums, I feel like my gums are starting to bleed. Just
what do you mean you're not going to get? You have them in the picture. You mean you're not going to put them in?
I believe that Instagram or at least Facebook is requiring people to tag when AI is involved in creating an image. I don't even know if those are gold teeth. That actually looks like the Maryland flag to me.
Interesting.
Which, clever on whoever did that. But yeah, so
are you accusing Len of false advertising? Is that what you're saying?
Nope. Just that's not an authentic image of me with a chef's hat or gold teeth.
Interesting.
It has nothing to do with the advertising.
So there's never been a time in your life where you just kind of lost your memory, or maybe this could have happened and you just forgot about it. That's not possible.
Since you phrase it that way, I will accept that.
Okay.
Perhaps this happened and I don't remember it.
Gotcha.
That there is the possibility. But again, back to the point, 15% off entire Wolf King site, no code needed. If you spend over $40, use GOAT at the checkout for free shipping in the USA. So go over to Wolf King Customs. Yeah, I don't know. Am I allowed to self-promote something I'm a part of like that?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Why is it that they would use the code GOAT? Is that significant in some way?
Because Len's the greatest of all time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got my order in. And
Beautiful.
$40 seems like a real low threshold for free shipping because I don't know how you can just go.
I mean,
there
that's
and
like
spend 40. Yeah,
that's like 4 or 5 parts if you get
Yeah.
like and he's got like
the bundles are stupid.
Yeah, he's got
good
the
deals.
bundle deals. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
because even the figures are on sale too.
yeah. So that's you buy one figure.
I missed out on the
8
dwarf
part.
builder set. It already got sold out.
But
I got enough to do three more God's Fire customs. So
there you go.
And he's got the new.
That's what we're talking about.
What does he call them? The Falconauts, the new squad of like cosmic themed heads. There's a whole bunch of new stuff up there.
I saw that last night on that Purple People Eater show.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
So Dylan just messaged me something on Instagram, and he would like a live reaction. Okay, let's
see what Jesse's reaction is. While you do
Why
that,
don't you go ahead and take care of that. Yeah.
Super chat. This is from Kent Pool Collects. $4.99 super chat. Jesse, as steward of Wolf King Customs, can we get a weekly update on God's Fire on the show? Thanks, congrats, friend. So, Kent, I can give you a little bit of an update. I did talk to Emil today. I let him know that we had a little spoiler alert for people out there, but we filmed a Wednesday one shot for this upcoming week about God's Fire, me and Kent and Brent, me and the two Ents. And afterwards, I talked with Emil, let him know how that went. Talked to him a little bit about the website because there were some pictures that weren't loading and some links that were kind of broken. So he is going to take a look at that website and make sure that it's up to par. And I'm told that we've got some exciting stuff coming this summer. So I don't have anything more than that right now. But if we have something to share, I will definitely share it, and I will be hounding them for updates as much as I can. So thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Jesse, do we have a reaction on your thing that you looked at?
Well, I suppose so. I haven't looked. I wanted to wait and to pull this up, so I have not looked at it yet. But Legends Collector 1321, aka Dylan, pulling this up now. All right. So I had a little bit of an existential crisis at ZoloCon because staring across from me at the Wolf King booth all weekend was like an empty Iron Man helmet mask. And I felt bad because every time Dylan would come up and talk to me, like I'd just be like disturbed by this Iron Man helmet staring at me from like 100 feet away. So he just sent me, I don't know if this is going to show up.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Just,
did it frighten you?
The pencil topper. At first I was like, what in the inappropriate content am I getting on my phone? But no, so thank you.
But Jordan, no, it was not phallic. It was in fact,
I mean,
Iron Man.
It's kind of.
So
it's definitely phallic.
It's a little bulbous.
Okay, well, Jordan,
I mean,
sorry.
You probably would want to go see a doctor.
Yeah, that's definitely not the color you want for sure.
Well, a
little jaundice.
It's more about the shape than the color.
a little top heavy.
Yeah, it's not the color that'll get you; it's the shape.
So, speaking of dwarves, it's one of those water gun pullback. It's a water gun.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. So it squirts water out of the helmet. Is that what you're telling me, Dylan?
Definitely phallic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
So the plot thickens.
Jordan is.
I hope that's all it is.
Matt,
yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit about customizing. You've been putting out a lot of fire, especially dwarves. Can you talk to us a little bit about kind of how you got into this, why it is that you fell in with this dwarf crowd? Is there any way that we can pull you out of it?
I've been dabbling outside of it, but I'm coming back. I just posted a bunch of upcoming whips that I'm working on for dwarves. So,
so yeah, tell us about how you got into this whole stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as far as painting goes, like I really got into mythics recently. I've probably been collecting mythics about 18 months, 2 years maybe at this point. And honestly, the reason I started painting was a couple things. One was dwarves, because I couldn't afford any named dwarves. And even at that time, some of the builders weren't super cheap. And then I saw My Thick Customs posting his videos about, painting the dots and the little details. And so about 15 months, I started doing that. And not to be a downer on the show, but I lost my mom about it'll be 2 years in September. And so I was looking for something to put just to focus on and my energy on.
Yep.
And so when I found painting, it just kind of let me zone out and just kind of, put some of that energy somewhere. And it just kind of took off for me. I really enjoy it. My wife said the other day, she says it's probably the happiest she's seen me in a while, just because it's something I can do. I'm very judgmental of my stuff. Anthony, my fellow king under the mountain, has to kick my butt a lot to, to kind of keep going. So yeah. And, obviously meeting a lot of the people, that do this stuff has been the best part. Legion's Con. I've been to a bunch of different conventions. I've been to Comic Con. I've been to Designer Con, Legion's Con, or Power Con, all these different cons, Dragon Con. But Legion's Con, hand down, was my favorite. It was just walking around and seeing all the art that people do there, which just blew my mind. I would just pass the same booths over and over and over just to stare at all the stuff. So for me, it just, I felt like I kind of hit and I just, kept going and started painting eyes, and now here I am making monkey pirates.
So before you started painting mythics, did you have an art background before that? Was there anything that you were doing with that?
The only creative stuff like that I've done before, I used to do product photography for statues and stuff like that. I did a lot of the Women of Dynamite statues. I did a lot of that. I also did a couple of DC things. But then I also worked on a independent toy line, a Glyos toy line called Battle Tribes. And before that, the Spy Monkey line was called Weaponeers and Muncaw. I did it all. I did product photography for them. And then when we did Battle Tribes, which I have one here, it's this little guy. This is my green.
Cool.
This is my green arrow I got to make.
Yeah, let's embiggen you. There we go.
So sorry, it's kind of blurred.
Yeah, it's always backwards of whatever direction you think it is.
But they're basically 3-inch
yeah.
little He-Man guys. And so I started working with my buddies there, and I probably designed about 75 of the color layouts for those, and did all the photography for about 4 years. So that, other than that, I have no art background. I am not officially educated in any kind of way for that kind of stuff. I just find it therapeutic.
Yeah. And, that's something that Jesse and I have talked about at length on this show, is just, like you said, the therapeutic nature of this. We've had people, talk about, whether it's hardships in their life that they've gone through, whether it's kind of mental illness or, just anxiety or, whatever, depression. And this has helped them get through it. I know, like for me, a lot of times, my mind will be just bouncing around from one thing to the next. And it's just, it's hard for me to even finish a task that I start on. But when I'm painting, you get so hyper focused on what you're doing that all that noise kind of blurs out around you, and it helps you just kind of like focus on one thing and be in control of that one thing, which makes everything seem easier, So yeah, that's awesome. And to think that, you just started this with, kind of dots and all that kind of stuff like 15 months ago, and to see the progression that you've made, because you've put out some really awesome stuff. I'm hoping that Jesse is going to, you got his Instagram that we could pull up at some point.
I do. Yeah. Is that cool to bring that up, Matt?
Yeah. So we'll pull that up and look at it, but just to see how fast you've progressed with this is absolutely amazing. And, I think it just shows, because I kind of the same boat as you. Like, I had no art background before getting into these. And, if you just get in there and start doing it and you have fun and you continue doing it, you can get really good with this stuff. Like, you can improve pretty fast, especially if you're, doing some research and asking questions and using the community to support you. And yeah, that's awesome. So,
yeah. Anthony, quick comment here. Matt's is incredibly talented and even better friend.
That's my boy.
Yeah,
We
and we got 2 super chats.
Yep.
We got one from Guy Segway, Dwarves Rule, hashtag Decade of the Dwarf, which I think is funny because I was like, when I joined in 2022, I got into or 21. I kept seeing people say, "Year of the Dwarf, Year of the Dwarf," and then 22 started, and I'm like, "Year of the Dwarf, Year of the." I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, it's always the year of the.
Yeah,
dwarf.
they claim it every single year.
We do.
And then he's got another one here. Curtis loved dwarf fans, and that's why we love him. Secretly, I do, but don't tell anybody. No, dwarves are a lot of fun.
Just over my shoulder is my Monkey King dwarf that you got mad at me for making.
Yeah. Listen, it's the standard rule, and even Anthony has really taken up the rule, which is you got to enjoy it for at least 24 hours. After 24 hours, you can do whatever you want. So
I just buy 2.
Yeah. That's fine too, as long as they show up together. The first one you open, though,
I
24 hours.
That's the first one I get. I couldn't do that.
I'm going to bring this comment up real quick, just because this is where we're going to start with Matt's pictures here. V-Dog, I haven't done any custom painting on figures yet. Would you recommend to practice on a Legion builder first? I think all 3 of us would probably agree that's a pretty easy place to start. Like Curtis has said, hit a couple of the dots, and I'm just going to pull up. I went back to your first custom here.
I will say, also, I know you mentioned the Mythic Customs has one, kind of painting the dots and stuff. There's also 2 YouTube videos on wolfkingcustoms.com. One from Steven, one from me, where we talk about like painting inside the trim and painting the dots and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you're just getting started, V-Dog, I think those would be some good resources for you to kind of take a look at, because as Jesse's, I'm sure, going to talk about here, those little things can make a huge difference on a figure, especially a Legion builder. But go ahead, Jesse.
Well, first of all, I want to point this out, Jordan. I don't know what you mean by you broke the joke, but like I said, my thick customs during the Necronominus live stream when I got to sit up there for a reveal. So that's not a new joke. I mean, putting it on Jeremy is, but anyway, I was really proud of that one. It made Jeremy DeWitt chuckle, sitting right next to me. So that kind of made my day. So right here, Matt, we've got, exactly what you're talking about. Right here is a, now at the time this came out, this was not an easy to get.
No, I got lucky. I got a good lot. Again, they weren't as cheap as regular Legion builders, but I didn't have a lot of options at that point so I got lucky, and probably painted some stuff. It worked out. These have actually been. I don't have these anymore. I actually have used. They have been donated to actual full customs now. So thank God for Instagram, so I can still look at them.
Oh, okay. So he's calling Curtis out for saying mythic instead of mythic. So all right, I apologize. I'm sorry for bringing it up. But yeah, so what this says 67 weeks ago, so a little over a year ago. You do this, you take this, which now with reinforcements 2, these are a little more available, but to take this dwarf and not slap, but to go in here and detail. I don't know if people can see where my mouse is pointing.
Nope.
So I'm going to point at my screen where you still can't see me, but you've dry brushed or painted silver on like the chainmail bits on the arms and legs. You've accented inside like the loin piece and across the lines on the helmet and stuff. And it just totally, I don't want to say it transforms the figure, but it like brings like a different level of light.
It makes it pop for sure. Yeah.
And
the good thing about those sculpted details on it, can you go back to that last picture, Jesse?
No.
Like on the loin piece there.
Oh, I was joking. Apparently I don't know how. There we go.
On like the loin piece there and stuff. Like all that stuff is sculpted out, so you can just like paint within that section, and it's almost like it's kind of like when you're coloring in a coloring book, like staying inside the lines, but the lines are raised, so it makes it even easier to kind of stay inside the lines on that stuff.
And easier to wipe it off if it's
yeah. So yeah, you just paint those different sections, or on the boots, you just take one of the little layers of metal and you paint one stripe or something, and just that one little thing can completely transform this. So yeah, this is simple but very effective, and really makes it look nice.
And you feel accomplished when you're done with it, even though it's not super complicated.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, this is the first figure that I put paint on too, was a Cavern Dwarf. So,
and it's similar. I mean, it's almost the same build, except for a couple of the, like the pauldrons are different. Some of the armor bits are different, but the bulk figure is, the legs, accented different pieces here. Instead of doing all the lines, you hit a lot of the dots and like the
and
like
this
the
was my first
medallions.
dry brushing, is what that one was.
Nice.
And again, you dry brushed, it looks like a bit of a silver or gunmetal over top of this darker gray, and it just, even doing that, if you take a figure and just paint black on the armor and just really dry brush across like the corners and the ridges and stuff, it really makes things pop differently. Yeah, great job. So that was your first one.
I did want to pull up, we had a super chat here. Van Johnson 199. Jesse is his favorite My Thick customizer. Purple heart, purple heart, purple heart. So,
and actually my second custom was, or third custom was actually not a dwarf. I painted up.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
The other one,
half giant.
Yeah.
Painted all the armor, the loincloth, and the
because that's it's a Legion builder with the then accessory kit on it. So so that belt, and even the bottom of the legs and stuff didn't have any of the details. Oh, even the bracers too. I forgot about those.
Yep.
Yeah. So very nice.
Yeah, and like the loin piece, just it's really. I'm looking to my right because I can see it bigger on my second screen over here. I'm trying to look on the show screen. These are,
and it's I mean, I get not everybody kind of understands this stuff, but it was funny, like when that Reinforcements, the first one came out, and I think I saw there was some guy on YouTube that it was his first experience with Mythic Legions. And he had bought a Legion builder and was complaining about like the paint apps weren't there and all this kind of stuff. But he had no idea that it's that way on purpose, and then you can kind of make it however you want. So it's just a great place to start. Is just getting one of those Legion builders and then coloring in those little bits that aren't a different color, and all of a sudden it looks like a fully finished figure.
So shown progress. So we've got those helmeted stuff. So the next thing we've got here is this dwarf head with coming into eyes. Now this is only a couple weeks.
It was my second painted eyes. The couple posts before had my first one.
Oh, which one?
If you go to the Death Dealer, there was a couple shots in that one.
Oh, and this one. Oh, okay.
We did get another super chat here. This is from Van Johnson 199. Can you please read my super chats with more enthusiasm? Purple heart, purple heart. Was that better?
So that was my first trying to paint eyes.
All right.
Okay. So even from, and I'm not saying this is bad at all, because eyes are a pain in the butt to paint. I think everybody can agree, especially if you don't watch any tutorials like myself, and you're just stubborn and just keep trying to like shove your little brush in there. So even from this, and I know it's really small. I know if I zoom in, it's just gonna be all weird.
Hit next. There might be a close up. Is there a close up?
There we go. Like these are good. But we'll see, folks, as we get to some of the more recent, like even just the detail that Matt does in the eyes in the 64 weeks since this was posted, according to Instagram, is insane. No, Jordan, we're not Van. Sorry, not Jordan. Van. We're not rereading My Thick.
I know a lot of people complain about eyes and stuff. For me, I actually don't mind the eyes. I think the eyes aren't, for me, they aren't that difficult, but I practice them a lot. But what I really struggle with is kind of what we were talking about with Blaze Bears earlier, like getting all that depth in the face, like in the crevices, the wrinkles, getting the kind of the rosiness on like the nose or the cheeks without it looking like a hard transition between that and the regular skin tones. Like the skin tone is kind of where I really have some frustrations. So yeah, but it's just a matter of just keep practicing the stuff that, you feel like you need to work on. So
I didn't mean to pull that up yet, but another $1.99 from Van Johnson. Matt is an amazing artist and a great human. Purple heart, purple heart, purple heart. And the Infusium built, as I read.
Van bought one of my customs that we had the Toy Atlanta was, not too long ago, and we were all hanging out at Big Dub's house. And I just brought some of my customs just to kind of show off some of the ones because Joe was going to be there, Joe Vesapello, and I told him I'd bring some. And Van saw one. He was like, I want to buy it. I was like, okay. So, so that was my second fully painted eyes and all.
And again, we're already seeing I don't know why I'm saying this like I'm critiquing, like I have any like place to talk. Like, but your quality is, your skill is already improving between that last one and this one.
Yeah, and then I think if you go back, Jesse, the one right above that is, I think that was our first shelf selection, if I remember right.
Yep.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so it wasn't too terribly long into it that he was already making shelf selections. So
well, see, you got to put double the effort on the one eye on this one.
There you go. Yeah, but I love the way that this came out, with the red and the gold together. It just it really looked well on this figure. Yeah, and you can see just like with that torso, just picking out the certain parts that you were going to make red and then leaving the rest like that silverish color. It's amazing because you can paint these things a variety of different ways, and sometimes it's just like, I'm going to choose to paint this part one color and leave this part matching with the rest of the armor. And the next time you could paint it completely different, even using the same colors, and just have a totally different look. So I loved the way this one came out, and probably not the background that I would use on a photo, but it was good enough for us.
I fix that later.
Yeah.
He's a professional photographer. Like, I knew Matt's pictures for those Women of Dynamite statues before I knew who Matt or even Mythic Legions were. So
yeah.
I also like to point out that you also made fun of the little dry palette that I had there.
Oh yeah, that's rookie move there. Have you moved on to a wet palette yet? Or you still
it depends on what I'm doing. Like, if I want to make sure I'm keeping, I can't do that. I can't, like, I clean my palettes all the time. I can't leave the paint.
Oh, so do I. I just it takes a while.
That's just one he keeps to eat cereal off of.
If it's something I'm mixing a bunch of different colors and I don't want to have to remember how I mixed them, I'll use a wet palette. But if I'm using straight out of the bottle or the pot, I generally don't. Gotcha. I'll mix it in my little ones. Actually, what I use mostly is I stole one of my daughter's fidgets, the little pop-it fidgets, because and they have the little wells, and the silicone is really nice because you can just pop out the glue or the paint once it's dry.
Yeah.
Oh, got 1/6 shooter with the great job on that head. Love the sculpt. Yeah, he said that about the previous picture.
Yep. Yeah, the winky eye.
Not that this one is not. Man, I keep sticking my foot in my mouth.
I'm not taking any offense. Ask Anthony. I'm my worst critic, so you can't say anything that's gonna touch.
And that's a.
I just don't know how to talk well.
We all are very. Everybody has that in our community. I think has that kind of imposter syndrome kind of thing going on. So
I thought you were gonna say everybody has that one friend that just doesn't know how to talk.
No.
Well, we do have that.
Yes. Words complicate themselves when when the tongue is involved.
Sure.
You're welcome.
I love that female orc up there. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, she's
the shield
awesome.
was so big though. Like it was part of the kit, and it was just so. That's one
I
thing
got that set, but I haven't painted it yet.
It was interesting because again, it was nothing I had ever really done before. So, but it was fun.
This is like, okay, again, a couple weeks in, your skill is just, it's just like every custom, it's just boom, 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 getting better.
Especially when you consider that like that head and that torso are third party parts, and you paint matched them like perfectly with the limbs. Like you can't even see a difference between that torso and the arms. Like there's no hard transition whatsoever. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So cool. All right, got to show off the dwarf love. Love this guy's head.
Yeah, this was my first time trying to use glossy varnish on the tongue to try to get that reflective wet look to it. And then I started using it on eyes from this point on as well.
Yeah.
It works.
I tell you what, I was using it was a tester's one that Jeremy and Nikki and a few of them had recommended. I was using it, and it did the thing, but I don't know, it wasn't as good as I thought it could be. And then I saw Noah Pratt was doing some amazing heads, and his eyes and like lips and tongue and stuff on his heads really popped. And I asked him, he was using a Citadel Ard coat, and I picked that up. Man, I love that stuff. I won't use anything else now. That stuff is really good. That's a nice color scheme. Like how you kind of brought in the colors from the soft goods into like the little accents on the armor. Yeah, that's cool.
So it's not all dwarfs. It's just a lot of dwarfs. I think my first year I think I lost count at like 50 something customs in my first year.
Now that dwarf head looks awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a planetary one, right?
Yeah.
That's an awesome one. Just a great sculpt, and then you nailed the paint job.
It was so fun to paint. It's just, it's that Warhammer style dwarf, berserker dwarf that I just love.
Yeah, that's such a fun one to paint. The hair detail that Planetary has on their, especially their dwarf heads, is just, it's just so much, because they feel like they have that like scratchy, bristly, like,
really good. I've painted a few of their dwarf heads here recently, and their beards are so fun to paint.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of my beards. I've been using like a contrast paint to really get into the crevices and dark them up a bit, and then dry brushing over that. But then even when I dry brush, it seems like on the actual strands of hair, it's not as smooth as I would like it to be. So lately I've actually been going over it and painting each individual hair like with a liner brush, which takes a while, but you really notice a difference when you do that. And I always say art takes however long it takes. And when you're satisfied with a piece, that's when you're done with it. So I think this one is Mythic Bits, right? With the
I don't remember where. The chest piece. Yeah, the
chest piece and the head.
No, the head came it's the Shield Sisters or something like that. There's I don't remember who did this set or whose prints they are originally.
I know that there's several people have them.
Yeah, you could originally. Were they Jason Demon heads originally?
I don't remember.
I don't know who did it, but I know like Blue Inferno had it. I think Anthony Halcyon might have even had it, and Chris Ferrone had it from Mythic Bits. So it was out there in a few different places. So
the shield and sword are Toy Forge though, right? Or at least the shield is.
No, the shield and the sword and the shoulder pads and the head are all part of that Shield Sister.
It's in a set.
Yeah. And there's another head and chest piece that I painted up. You also skipped. So I can't afford a lot of the old figures. So the Kickstarter dwarf I couldn't afford, so I painted my own. So I started that. So I have about 5 or 6 figures that I couldn't afford. So I just painted my own version of them. So
Patrick, if you're watching, turn off the stream now. So
wait, what?
Just a little inside joke. So some folks out there have frustration or concerns when people replicate an older figure. And so we had a long discussion on our show about that. I think kind of what we came down to is if you're making it not to sell, you're making it for yourself.
Oh yeah,
probably okay. The only thing is you know, as a friend of mine brought up to me, like, okay, yeah, you made it for yourself. You're not planning on selling, but what happens when you die? And, you know, I know that's morbid, but, you know, your wife goes to try to sell this thing and she doesn't know that it's not an original. And, you know, somebody ends up with a custom rather than a real one. And so I think what we settled on was just kind of like, yeah, you know, make it, do your repaint, whatever, but somehow make it your own. Do like one thing different, a signature part of it, just so that, you know, it's clearly not the original. But I think that's
the shield. The shield gives it away there because I don't have the tampo for the shield.
Correct. Yeah, it's a great job though. Great paint job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the point where when I was going through, I just assumed it was the real one.
Same.
And that's why I scrolled past it. So apologies.
Above it, the Giround.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a repaint as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that one, if you held it in your hand, you would know because that cape is hiding. I used to be very impatient about putting my figures together after I primed or after I sealed them.
Yeah.
And sometimes things would get smudged.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that in the customizing studio today. We were talking about you know, obviously, you know, a lot of us customizers, when we're painting, we try not to have to paint the joints. If you can, you try to get a joint that's the color that you want. But if you do have to paint the joints, man, you really got to let those suckers dry for a couple days before you try to wedge that together. And, you know, I know a lot of us get impatient. Like you get done painting, and it's like, man, I just want to put this together and get pictures of it. And it's like, nah, you got to wait, man. you got to have some patience. But that was the other sister there, Jesse, from that set. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I got my versions of them from Toy Forge, so I just assumed the shield was Toy Forge because the custom I used that on, one of the customs I used that was mostly Toy Forge parts. So I'm pretty sure Big Dub has it was my Forest Guardian dwarves where I did the 2 pair and kind of like that pale metallic green. They both had that shield with the sword that slid into it, which I thought was a really cool.
Can you click on that one there?
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So now on this one with the purple metallic parts, is that just a purple metallic color straight up, or did you do something underneath of that? Oh, okay. On top of like a silver?
Yep.
Gotcha.
It was just
awesome, man.
It was just the pictures there's pictures of above because I really like how the shell came out. It was just a deluxe goblin builder, and I just put like a purple glaze over it basically.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's really nice. Looks nice. What kind of paints do you normally use?
Mostly Vallejo, but I do depending on if I'm trying to match something. I have a bunch of Citadel just for matching stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I refer to your
video. And on this one, you trimmed the loin piece, right? You made it a little bit smaller.
Yep. Yeah. I don't remember who I saw somebody do that originally, and because that loin piece is obviously made to work with all 1.0s. It always looks so long on the dwarves that a lot of mine I'll cut them short like that because I just think it looks like it fits better.
Yeah, it looks nice. I like it. I don't know that I've done it on I've done it on the like the 2.0 goblin, especially when I'm making gnomes. I cut those down, but I don't know if I've done it with this one. That's a cool idea. I like the way that looks. Yeah,
I love this guy.
This one's beautiful as well.
He looks like something straight out of like the Asterix comics. I love him. Are you familiar with the Asterix?
No,
comics?
No.
Are they from France or Asterix? My brother was into them, and I was a kid. I saw them. They're basically these Gauls, so they're these little like kind of like they're not barbarians, but they're the Romans are always coming after. They're considered barbarians by the Romans. So it's basically the guys they're fighting at the beginning of Gladiator, right? Except it's a cartoon and it's more playful. And they have this potion that they can drink that like gives them a little boost of like superpower when they fight. So like they're, Asterix is this little guy with like a big yellow mustache and like the winged helmet. And then Obelix is his friend that's got this big orange mustache and he's got like these blue and white striped pants, but he fell into the vat of the potion as a child. So he's just this big dude and he's just like always strong, but he's like the most like gentle guy or whatever. But the character that you painted here just looks like an armored up one of the people from their tribe.
Yeah,
it was an interesting head sculpt.
Is nice.
Yes, zombie like the gummy bears. Oh, I wanted to bring up. Zombie said something earlier, and I meant to bring it up. Where was it? It was about how he does the super small brush for the white on the eyes, and then a toothpick for the irises and pupils, and that's pretty cool because that toothpick's not gonna bend on you when you're applying it.
I need to try it. I need to try the toothpick trick. I need to try that.
Yeah, I tried that. It just didn't work for me. But I mean, you gotta try different things. Some things work for some people and some don't. So,
well, I keep trying to experiment with different things. This one here was the first time I did like a speed paint over silver for that gold. It's okay.
Wait,
like yeah,
that's speed paint over silver.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can tell if you go to the back shots, you can see where the speed paint kind of pulled up in some of the areas. See that dark because it's like a yellow speed paint, and when it sits on something too much, it pulls up into those dark pools like that. So some people are really good at using it. I'm not. So I tried it. Wasn't for me. I don't think I've used it occasionally for sparingly, but trying to do a whole figure on it, it's tough.
I'm kind of the same with the Citadel contrast paints. Like, I have to have certain things that I use it for, and usually it's only if I'm going to then do like a layer of dry brushing over it. It's very rare that I actually can just use it and just that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So and even then, sometimes I'll have to water it down a little bit because it's just
it's tough.
The concentration of it seems to be a little bit too much. So this is awesome. I love this.
Okay, so just for contrast, this is according to at least as far as when you posted it on Instagram. This is 10 weeks after that first one you painted with eyes.
Yes.
And this is insane. Folks, go check out where is it? I should have the banner running. I'm sorry. Where'd it go?
Yep.
Matt's Instagram at 13Z Customs on Instagram to see these pictures in better resolution on your phones or whatever, or iPads. But just the detail, you've got like the pink, you've got like the soft inside texture of like the eye.
Yeah, where it looks almost not bloodshot, but like kind of like that.
It's the squishy inside part that you're not supposed to touch.
Yeah.
I
don't think you're supposed to touch any of the eye, but yeah.
All right.
This lives at Big Greg's house now.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Very nice.
This one was a lot of fun to paint. This is the armor I did on it was I tried to do this was my first. It's not patinaed like some of the dwarf statues I do, but it's like a patinaed metal that I was trying to go for.
I'll pull this up from Dirk. He says fine tip Gundam markers are good for the initial black circles in the eye before the iris and can be used for a nice small pupil. That's another one that I had some people talking about. I tried and it just did not work for me. So you're gonna watch YouTube, you're gonna check out things on Instagram, and you're gonna find a bunch of things that people recommend. Some of them are really gonna work for you, some of them aren't. It's kind of a style thing and what you get used to, and you just gotta figure out what you're comfortable with. So
I know I clicked the heart on this one because I thought it was cool, but like looking at it on a bigger screen than my phone, the colors on so much of this is 3D parts, like almost everything you can see. So like the bracers, the weapons, the helmet, the shield, the pauldrons, the head, the waist piece, the feet.
Yeah, it's just the arms and the legs.
Okay,
everything else is
it's
3D.
pretty much head to toe.
And I mean, this looks like a character out of. I mean, this looks like a fully realized official character. Like this is insane. Like color on this, and the fact that the helmet slides onto the head.
That was really fun about it. And it like lines up perfectly with his eyes. It's great.
Yeah, I love that when you've got something that's can interact with the head, whether it's a helmet like that, or if I know some people were experimenting with like the softer resins that you could put like the slip-on head pieces or hair pieces like the G.I. Joe classifieds. I think that adds a really cool element to it. And the colors on this are just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this looks like a king from some ancient clan or something that just hasn't been seen in centuries, and he just like walked up like, all right, there's a problem, I'll take care of it.
I tell you what, though, if I painted that head like you did, I wouldn't be putting that helmet on it. I'd be like, I want to show this thing off. Yeah, he's gonna be holding that helmet for the rest of his days.
But the fact that you can have him holding it, knowing it would fit on 4 pictures or something, is just, this is beautiful, Matt.
I love the proportions on that face too. The nose and stuff. Like some of the dwarf proportions are just very cool.
Yeah, that's another one where the shield was super big, which is why you don't see him in the picture holding it, because it was just so awkward that before I sent it off to Greg, I've started using magnets on a lot of my shields. So I glue a magnet to the handle and then magnet the shield so it can hold it. It's easier because you can just pose the handle and then just slap the shield on.
There we go. We can take our faces out for you, Rob. I thought that was going to make our voices drop out. So yeah, you don't need to see our mouths, but I don't think it makes it that much bigger of an image.
No, I don't really.
Not really.
Doesn't make it as interesting either.
Plus, I like seeing my face.
There's a lot of bearded goodness on this screen that you just can't hide.
I know the details you got in there, like on the rings and stuff, and just like.
Oh, I meant us. I was talking about our bearded goodness, not the figure.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talking how we're sexy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean,
but you can go back to the pictures.
Yeah. Curtis and I are just going to stare at each other.
Right. Exactly.
All right, I got to pull this one up.
That's amazing.
Like I'm getting total Slash from the Ninja Turtles vibes with the colors.
Yes, I can see that totally.
This again is me trying to, and you'll see that I start just trying different things. I had been keeping it more earth tony and more real.
God, and that face looks great.
And then I just wanted to try something off the wall color wise. I let my daughter pick some colors when we went paint shopping, and so this is what we ended up with.
So, do you come up with stories and backgrounds for the characters after you've paint them, or
no? I tried that. I am not creative enough when it comes to that.
Can I throw out
at this point? You're what, like 3 months in or something like that? Is that about right?
Yeah.
3-4 months in. Like that's ridiculous. This is, I mean, like go back to that face, where he's got the helmet off. That's freaking crazy for that short a time in there. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so about at least 3 months posting wise since your first posts, because this is 52 weeks as opposed to 64 with the first face. So
yeah, that's awesome.
So this looks like a guy who's part of the Convocation of Basilia at some point. Just those colors give that vibe to me. But he's like the completely like over the top, like ostentatious, like Thor at the beginning of Love and Thunder, where he's just so over the top awesome that like nobody gets to do anything. I love it. I love it. These colors are. So is that another helmet that fits on the head?
Yeah.
Or is
no, it's a separate head.
I want to
It
pull
is
up
a separate head.
one
So
from
okay.
Guaisagway. It says, I need a Matt Stein custom in my life. So for folks that are really enjoying your work here, you did say that one of them was with Big Greg. Do you tend to sell these? And if so, where can people find them?
Yeah, I mean, just you could message me on Instagram. I'll throw up some for sale every now and then. I haven't really got into like the commission stuff yet, though I do have somebody. He bought a bunch of customs from. He just got into Legions and he bought a bunch, and he went back and saw those 2 Shield sisters, which I'd have already sold. I sold those last year before Legions Con, and so I'm doing some of those for him. But he kind of given me whatever I want to make them paint wise.
Gotcha.
Like, so yeah, I definitely sell my customs, because once I got to the point where I had so many, I'm like, I just can't keep all these. Commissions, like when somebody's specifically picking out the colors, that's tough for me, because then it feels like it's work.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to buy one, or if they're like, hey, I like this one, can you do something like it? I'm all open for that. Because to me, me being able to experiment with colors and try different things is part of what I enjoy about it. Like, because none of us really make money selling these.
Oh, no.
Right.
You know, especially if you start counting time.
Yeah.
But you know, so yeah. I mean, definitely hit me up.
Down the hours we put into this stuff, it's less than minimum wage. That's for sure.
I think. Okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Matt.
I think because I was trying to get some money together before Legions Con, my first Legions Con last year. So I think I sold like 11 before I left for Legions Con last year.
Nice.
Oh, wow. So 2 separate heads. So it's, I guess it's supposed to be the same face, because it's got the
same
patch
guy. Yeah.
built into the sculpt. So you painted portions of this face twice, and I love how like it looks like the same guy. Like you, I mean, obviously if you've got the paint right there in your palette or whatever, you can, you know, it's just like the skin, but you got the eye to where it like it's the same color. It looks like, and it's a slightly different position, you know, like he's like staring straight ahead in battle, and this one looks more conversational or whatever. But like it's awesome. It's freaking awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this one, you notice he's holding the shield. I had the original shield I had broke, and Anthony had that file, and so he printed me a smaller version of it. So it actually is a little bit more, you know, size appropriate.
Was it like a wall shield where
it was a very big wall shield? Yeah, it was
put it down on the ground.
Yeah, it was so heavy. It looked amazing. Like I loved the sculpting on it. It was just so big.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when dwarves try to pick up big boy things. So,
oh boy.
I was just comparing my first eyes on the left.
Yeah.
To my, at the time, my most current ones. At some point, you'll see I repainted that original head, or not. I kept the original, so I've sold it, but I kept the original head I painted, but I bought another print so I could paint both of them, have both of them, and compare them. They come up at some point.
Okay, we're getting to it, but that gray one up there was another shelf selection.
Okay, I love the colors on this one, and just. This looks like a maybe like a design for one of the dwarves from the Hobbit movie that just didn't make it into the movie.
Yeah.
It's so much personality, and the colors are
painting
so
metallics like that. Oh my god, it takes so long, so many layers. But I love it. I love the metallics. So
look, I mean that face. Come on.
I'm not saying anything because I'm trying to get you to get to the gray one.
All right, calm down.
That's my guy right there. Look at that.
This is
it. This was my first time experimenting with trying to give the glowing fire effect.
Oh, you nailed it.
In his eyes.
Yeah, you nailed it.
So I'm a bit.
And those circles on his like torso and into the pauldrons. Yeah.
So you guys made a comment about why dwarves. I'm a big WoW fan.
Oh yeah.
And dwarves were always my go-to. And Dark Iron, I know we call them, you know, Dwar or whatever. The D&D is
Wagar, Duragar, yeah.
For me, they're the Dark Iron.
Dark
dwarves.
Iron, that's the same thing, man. I played World of Warcraft for over 10 years, and that's exactly what I thought at first too.
Yep. So that's where my inspiration for the glowing armor for him came from.
I mean, he looks like he's got a furnace
the armor, the eyes, but then also the inside of the mouth with the gums and the teeth. Like, yeah. I mean, I probably would put a little bit of gloss on those gums, but man, the colors on this.
I think they are. I just don't think it's coming through on the photo. But
gotcha.
I'd say even if it's not, it's because he's got he's a living furnace. Like those gums are probably dried out right now.
Yeah, he may have the gum disease known as gingivitis.
So all the orange spots I painted them white first,
and
then layered the different And again, a lot of I started off watching Jeremy's videos and some of Curtis's stuff I found through the Wolf King videos, which I have the Fury Clan Dwarf bookmarked because I always go back and refer to it. Miniature painting is what I got a lot of my techniques from, watching people paint miniatures.
Yeah,
and I came across somebody doing a flame effect. And they painted white, and then they talk about the blending of all that, and so that's where that came from.
Yeah, I've started to, with that kind of stuff, realize that if you can work with the stuff while it's wet, it's a whole lot easier to blend those colors and kind of make those transitions smoother. Because I would try to do the one color, dry it, either let it sit dry or I'd hit it with a hair dryer or something. And then I would try to do the next color, and the transitions were so hard. Like, it was just very stark transitions. But yeah, if you continue to work with it while it's wet, man, it's really a lot easier to kind of blend those and make that a smooth gradient.
I apologize if this is a cheesy comment, but you should figure out a way to put some smoke effects or fire coming out of that.
I don't have it anymore.
Okay.
Oh, you sold that one? That's beautiful. I'm guessing this is one that you also chose to paint instead of buying it.
Yes, and the horns are a different color.
Gotcha.
Where it comes with, I think he come with his horns are all white. Where I painted mine to be a little off white with I like the black tips.
Still a beautiful paint job.
Yeah,
I struggled with this one so much with the neck piece thing. I struggled with it so much.
Oh, really?
One of those ones where I had to just walk away. I just had to, all right, I'm done.
Yeah,
but I'm happy how he came out with. I still voted for him for All-Star though, and I wasn't happy he didn't win though. I would like the original.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we get a version 2 in the brute scale.
Oh yeah, brute scale would be awesome.
Maybe with an open mouth or something. See, okay, this is the one I put that shield set I was talking about earlier. The shield and sword. I used this head and pauldrons from Anthony on that.
And it's got one of those mythic bases on it.
Yep. This is epic. Is this like a golem, like a dwarf?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's one I tried to put a story to. Those are the basically
it's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Anthony just said mine.
Yeah,
he stole it at Legion's Con last year.
Oh, okay.
But I painted a couple more, and then I got a couple more I'm painting. I have an idea for one that I might try to do, like a jade statue.
Oh, nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love this. This was a lot of fun, and I just did 2 more recently that you'll see when you get higher. It's a lot of fun, but even though it's not a super complicated paint layout, it's so many different layers. It's so many layers upon layers upon layers. But I love them. They're some of my favorite things to paint. Oh, there's the before and after of
this one.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's February and July of the same year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And then I tried to paint match the green better to the sleeves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, the beard looks nicer too.
Okay, so we don't get Curtis mad, we won't linger on this one too long, but this is really cool.
I love that weapon. That's awesome.
I love the chain.
Yeah, that's the kit from Toy Forge. The hat, the head. And this is one that, again, I'm a pretty self-deprecating kind of artist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like to use the word artist. But I was real happy with the paint match on the chest for him, as far as the purples and the teals. Because really the only thing I painted on here were the feet, the chest, and then the head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Everything else I tried to paint match as best I could to.
Is that an Inside Out Father Christmas robe?
No, it's from I don't remember his Instagram name. Josh Campbell or Campbell.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like this half. They're two half robes, like they're meant to be just on one side, and so I got two of them to kind of make like a full robe.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
Man, I love the little blue highlights in the mustache and the hair and stuff.
Very 80s comic book.
Another miniature painting suggestion.
That blacksmith's cool.
All right, so
that was my first non-mythic paint head.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love that movie, and he was one of my favorite. And I just hate that, at the time. I mean, I think the SH Figure Arts comes with one now, but at the time, the Marvel Legends didn't.
It didn't come with an alt. It just came with the masked head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't believe they passed up the chance to do that sculpt.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it's a little bit more forgiving to paint because it's based on an animated thing, so I didn't feel like it had to be super detail.
All right, Curtis, another gray dwarf for you.
Yeah. I love that head too. That head sculpt's amazing.
This head sculpt reminds me of you guys. I'm assuming you guys have both seen Braveheart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So his best friend Hamish, the big redheaded guy. This reminds me of his father. Like the sculpt. Like if that guy got turned into a Mythic Legions dwarf, I'm not saying it's an exact replica of his face for any IP issues or anything, but like it just if he was playing a character in Mythic Legions, like this is.
Hey, there's Greg. This was my first attempt at rust.
Nailed it.
Looks nice.
Again.
I mean, it's subtle. It's not, you didn't overdo it. It looks great.
And it looks like it's in the right spots where like it's up under where like it would be harder to dry stuff off, or if he's coming out, he's just wiping off like the outside edges and stuff. Like this looks really good.
The soft goods is Max Bird. It's the bog goblin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this one, because the other one I did the Dark Iron Dwarf with the glowing eyes. So this one I wanted to do more with actual pupils and still go with the red.
Greg says Matt is a sleeper painter, killing it. Not anymore, Greg. You don't get to just buy up all his things now. We're letting everybody know how good he is. So you're gonna have competition buying these things, just so you know.
Like I don't even want to make dwarf customs anymore. Like all the ones you're doing. Like, and I know you're doing other stuff, but like I see these and like immediately like I get, maybe it's not what you intended, but like I'm getting vibes very strongly off every single one of these.
What are those boots from? Those are cool.
From oh my god. Oh,
are they a third party?
Noble Bear. Noble Bear.
Okay.
Noble Bear.
Oh, it says it right here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I try to spread the love around I can on all the great 3D printers out there. So
yeah, that's cool. I love the use of fur underneath the pauldrons.
Yeah, my that was a bunny rabbit I killed. A stuffed bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
That is the shaggiest bunny rabbit I've ever seen. Oh gosh. Sorry, folks. I'm just,
Oh, look at that. You got stuff selling right and left. Boom, 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 boom.
All right. I know someone was asking for God's Fire.
Nice. the General.
So is that a soft good, like lower tabard?
Yeah, Max Bird.
Okay. Dang, that scar. Man, that's good. I didn't even know that patch had those little nubs on it.
I don't do all because I know there's a couple different variations of the General. I don't know if they all have the.
I think they all have the like that what he's calling the nubs on it, but one has the cross, one doesn't have the cross.
Yeah.
So
Kent Pool, you know it was you. Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you cut up a helmet here?
Templar skeleton.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, that was from early. Basically, I went back and I started retaking photos of some of my older ones. So this is one I did earlier. We just kind of went over it. Yeah, I got a Dremel for the first time and started hacking it away.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love the Templars. So I have a lot of custom Templars.
You and Curtis just became best friends between the Durgar, the Iron Dwarf, and Templars.
Yeah, hit me with some Gray Dwarves and some Templars, man. I'm in.
Look at these orc baddies.
Yeah, that was me. I was just happy to share that people actually like the stuff they were getting.
I love those game kits. Those things are so good.
They're great.
Oh man, this head is great.
I mean, they took 5 ever to get here, but
that was fun.
Really
my buddy George, who dislikes fun, when I was up there for Legion's Con, he gave me 2 sculpts and said, "Here, go paint those for me." And so I painted this one, and then I painted. If you keep scrolling over, the Greg, and I did try to make the snakes look slick, and I painted that for him.
It makes me want to. I did that head as well 2 years ago, and I want to do it again because I did a similar poisonous snake with the black and yellow and the red, and I was like, "You dumbass! Why did you choose to do a snake with so much pattern?" Like I think I underestimated how much of that snake you could see. I was like, "Oh, this will be fun."
Nope.
I'll have to show you the one that I did because it was yellow and black with just a crazy pattern, and dude, it took so long. It was ridiculous. And that's the Greg Ogre head. That's awesome.
That looks spot on color match for that body. You think as much as time I've hung out with Greg, I've never noticed his teeth like that before.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Maybe you haven't seen him with a Gaspar sausage.
Yeah.
I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Those guys are so good, and they're really good people too. They're just because they come to Toylanta too. That's where I first met them. They're just good people.
Oh yeah,
and an amazing artists.
Well, and that's kind of like you were talking about earlier about going to Legion's Con and just so many great artists, but you know, on top of that, they're just awesome people too. Like there's not an asshole at Legion's Con. Like they're like everybody's just so nice.
There's a lot. I mean,
we're there, but other than that, yeah.
This is my first ogre.
If you go in a swimming pool, it's just a big body of water with a bunch of assholes floating in it.
Oh, all right. Gotcha.
So maybe rethink opening your mouth when you're underwater in a pool next time.
Stew of our own filth.
Sorry, you're talking this is ogre scale?
Yeah.
Holy crap. I want to do you have pictures of it with other figures?
No, I don't. Greg might though. It lives at his house.
Freaking Greg, save some for the rest of us.
Actually, when I painted this, I was hoping that it was something he was going to want. So I kind of went into it with because I you know, it was my first one painting. So and I got the kit at Legion's Con.
Okay. Man.
And very WoW Horde color inspired.
Yeah. Do you remember who you got the parts from?
Was it Big Head Studios?
Big Head. Okay.
They were in the back corner. Like
Yep,
it was a stupid deal on that whole kit. Like it was crazy. I couldn't believe what they were charging for. There was also a necklace that I forgot to put on it, but it's on the actual final figure.
I might have to talk to you and get you to if I can get this set, get you to paint one of these up for me, because that is freaking awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Can I throw something on the screen real quick, Jesse?
Yes, you can.
This is the skull one that I did, and man, I absolutely I both loved and hated it. But you're right, I do want to do another one because it was a lot of fun. It just took forever. So, but yeah.
Well,
and now we're okay. This is another shelf selection right there.
Which one?
The monkey,
yes.
pirate monkey. That was another shelf selection.
And you did that for George, right?
No, this one I did for me. I did one for George. The Jack Sparrow one I did later. So when the Monkey King was teased, everybody was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a pirate," because it looked like maps, right? Like it's gonna be a pirate, and it wasn't. And then when I saw Marley revealed, and I went, "Oh," and everybody's talking about pirates, and I'm like, "I'm gonna make a monkey pirate," and so that's where that came from. The hat came from a Jack Sparrow McFarlane figure.
What about the hook?
A McFarlane Captain Hook figure from the video game, and the hook's
okay.
And you can still pop the hook out and put the regular hands back into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I did
the Mirrorverse, the game.
The Mirrorverse stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I've done 3 of them. I did this one, and then I did the one for George. There's the one for George.
That's so cool.
I'll need to turn
that one even better.
That's a Wolf King sword, and that's one of the you got one of the figure keys on there from Marley.
Yep.
And one of the Poxus scrolls with the
Nope. I wish I would have waited. No, that's from Krotos from his bag.
You cut that off his bag?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you get close to it, it's painted like a little map.
A map. I saw the X in the little line. That's so cool.
And so instead of a, because pirates, have monkey bone claw hands like as trinkets, he's got a human 2.0 skeleton hand on his
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
And then the sash is a somebody online, I can't remember the name of the eBay store. They sell wired scarves.
Okay.
And so I took that and I just took a red Sharpie and kind of drew the red
GPS slots.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So that was a lot of fun to paint, and that was for George.
That's so cool.
Oh, and that was my first dye job. I dyed the arms brown so the joints would be which is a whole experience on itself. Like you can't just dye it, dry it, and use it. There's a lot of because that dye keeps seeping out. And
don't skip over the gray dwarf. I see what you're doing. Come on.
That's the one. That's the one that lives in Van's house.
No, gray dwarf. Back up, right there.
Yeah. That lives at Van's house now.
That looks like Van.
That was my first
Von
Burke. That was my first Von Burke head that I painted. So
nice.
I like the use of that belt. The one that like the shoulder strap one. That's cool.
Oh, from the Barbarian?
Gladiator?
Yeah, for the
Gladiator,
yeah.
And those scars are great.
Look at the eyes on there, too.
Gosh, dang it, Matt.
I think there's a closer shot of it.
Dan's house. Hey, Jordan, if you see this one, can you take this and ship it to me? That'd be great. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Speaking of monkeys, what is this? What is this, Dylan? Speaking of monkeys,
I will pay a finder's fee, Jordan, if you find this and send it to me.
Oh, okay. I mean, gorillas aren't monkeys, but
yeah,
come on.
I think this was another shelf selection too, wasn't it?
Probably.
You've been all over our show. Yeah, that's so good. Like I can't even believe that that's a real paint job on the light. Like it looks like it has to be photoshopped, you know?
No, again, it was another technique that I found on.
Whoa. So you painted the reflection on the helmet.
Yeah. I dry brushed the green on the helmet to give it the light reflection. And then I painted white, and then I used a neon green paint on the eyes and on the lantern, and then glossed it to give it.
Do you know what kind of was that, a Vallejo neon?
It was
green?
a Vallejo one. Oh no, I think it was a Vallejo. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, that's just amazing. It doesn't even look like it looks like it has to actually light up. Like it looks like an actual.
Yeah, it looks like there's like LEDs in there.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, he I haven't sold him yet. Like I've had a bunch of people ask for him, but I don't know if I can get rid of him.
Let's see.
Where is pants from?
See if we can embiggen you there. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
The pants are from the Josh Campbell, the same guy that did the half coat, and then the tank and the drill arm are actually from. Oh God, I can't remember the name of this. It's basically a BioShock kit that they did.
Brian C.
Yeah. And so I got the tank from him and the drill from him, and then the shoulders and the head was.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. My Thick Customs out there saying can't hang out, but want to share some love for 3 of my favorite people. Great to see Matt getting a spotlight for his amazing work. So thank you, Jeremy. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
we were
Jeremy.
actually talking about you earlier. He was saying he got his start by watching one of your videos, painting the dots. And, 15 months later, man, he's just cranking them out. So
you're still here, Jeremy. I'm waiting for reference material. He has a monkey request, and I'm waiting for reference material.
All right.
Again, great color combo. Like the colors you choose are.
Jordan is saying that there's a new Army Painter green effect that is dope. Pink one too. So maybe.
I don't remember because I do have some Army Painter stuff. I don't have a ton of Army Painter stuff. There's a chance. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know. It's something just hits me on the colors. And I always try to throw one random color to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And that's where the red came from on that.
But it feels cohesive. Like this it feels like there's a history and a story behind why this guy has these colors and why that belt buckle is that red. It's. I just saw Big Dub's comment and it threw me off. I was like, what?
That's normal.
I thought Big Dub was talking about Gaspar sausages for a second.
Oh.
God, that song was in my head forever.
It's so good. This is another amazing one.
Freaking eyes on this man. Like,
yeah.
And I had to paint those through the eye slits.
Yeah, I hate doing that. It's so much work.
I absolutely hate doing that too. Oh, okay, I see. Is it open on the side? Like, can you see?
You can, yeah.
Paint through the side.
But you can't paint that way though. You got to go straight through the.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you what are you gonna do to paint? Oh my gosh, those eyes are freaking amazing.
Yeah, I love the blue on there too. That blue is gorgeous. And then the blue on the belt is like a brighter blue, so it once again breaks it up a bit. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's again another one that I haven't decided if I'm going to let go or not. I can't let them all go.
Oh, it depends on the price.
Well, yeah, that is true too. That's just me playing. Yeah, Ken is my favorite Street Fighter.
Okay. Do you have a Barbie Ken on this shelf just for fun? In Ken?
No,
clothes?
That joke has been made a lot, but no, I have not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But there's not many official Ken toys I do not have.
Come on, Dusty, be original.
I can't. So you're talking about feeling like. Go ahead.
I technically even have one that I got to. So in the Battle Tribes line, I also did my own kin.
The Tubbs. I'm so happy to see someone else with a Tubbs duck.
Yep.
I have 3 of them.
That is a ton of kin. Holy moly.
Yep.
Which apparently is how people from Illinois told me I pronounce the word can.
Okay.
When I talk fast. All right, we got to go to this big fella.
Yeah,
so not only did you paint blue eyes on the ogre, dwarf. You also painted eyes in the boar head. And you painted the boar head to match the fur.
Yeah, that was fun to try to get that paint match as close as I could.
It does look like it matches that fur spot on.
All right, you're talking about feeling like the imposter syndrome and like I'm not a painter, I'm not an artist. I'm feeling that really big time tonight.
Come on.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like, and I'm not, and that's just, I'm like, how do I not have these all? Like, I know I follow you and I like half your stuff. It's stupid algorithm.
Algorithms.
Blame that.
Yeah. It's what it is.
These are freaking.
Yeah, that head was a lot of fun.
You're inspired. How's that? Can I say that? You're inspiring me. How's that?
I think you were fine the other way. I mean, I kind of feel the same. Like I'm looking at his stuff and I'm like, man, Jesse needs to step up his game. So.
Yeah, right.
I made that for my boy Kent.
I'm happy with what I do, but like I'm not the best painter. Like I'm not. That's never going to be the thing I'm going for. Like I'm just trying to do better than the last one I did. Right, but like these, like
I think Brian's right. I think you need to make a Mythic Ken tribute.
It's on my to-do list along with a Green Arrow, who is my favorite superhero. So
okay,
nice.
That is for my boy Kent. I made that for a trade.
Sweet. This one here. Yeah. This almost looks like a Brunner Battlehammer from the Drizzt books, in mythic form, because he's got, I think, the broken horn on his helmet.
And that was using your paint match, by the way. Thank you.
Me?
For the Cavern Dwarf. On the
okay.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Okay.
You don't remember that?
Yes.
Jesse convinced himself he's so bad that he's surprised.
It was 2 craft store paints and some black. I can't remember the paints, but
yeah. Nope. I remember that now.
I have used that quite a bit. I've used it quite a bit because I bought like 14 Cavern Dwarfs when I was at Legion's Con.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, we're encroaching on 2 hours here. Not that that's a bad thing.
Let me see that Fury orc. Can you go back down?
Yeah, this was my first foray into Fury.
Oh, yeah, you killed it. That's great.
I did a few Fury and a few green skins, a few scroll.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Joe H is asking, how many Chris and George tribute sets are you planning on buying for future customs?
Minimum 5.
Okay.
It's a good number.
Big worm perm. I'm going to assume you know what that means. Is that a Georgia? Is that like a South thing?
Not all of us can reference Dritz books or whatever the hell that you talk about.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Some of us can, reference Friday instead. So
is that what worm perm is?
Yeah. Big worm, big perm. Yeah.
Big worm, big perm.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
All right.
If you scroll,
mess with his money, Jesse. It's like messing with his emotions.
These guys are straight nightmare fuel.
The next Fury one is one I used after this one is
that's beautiful.
That's where I use my speed paints at now. So that was painted silver with a speed paint of yellow. Don't mind the neck doesn't match the color on that green.
I'm totally looking at
it. I struggled with these.
That's nice. I like that.
And it works because like the goblin head is smaller than a human head. So I guess that's not even a human skull. It's probably like a vampire skull.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Ah, that's cool. Dang.
Yeah, that's nice.
Anthony told me I had to paint up heads for Legion's Con, so that's what I've been working on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did last year, but I'm working on full customs instead this year. I just am having a lot more fun with it.
This is great. This is a great sculpt, and
It's a lot. It was a lot of fun to paint, except for like right underneath that the dread that's hanging down, trying to paint under
gorgeous.
that.
Oh yeah. There's something I got. Oh, is the one gnome kit, the kind of halfling gnome head, like the young one, the way it's got like all the strands of hair like on the forehead and then like
Such a
skin
pain.
I've done 2 of those, never again.
There's your paint match again.
Well, I'm glad it worked. Van?
Yeah.
Van?
No, I think that one's planetary. No. I think that one's Van. That one's I think it's planetary. I don't remember.
Again, I'm just calling him red because the red beard.
Oh, Van. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this is cool. So are you words table? Yeah. So other things.
I'll be bunking up with Toy Forge. I brought some stuff to Toy Forge last year because he let a lot of the Kings of the Mountain just bring some of their stuff to display. So I wasn't really like at a table trying to sell.
Okay.
So the idea is actually Lynn is sending my stickers with my Godfire aura I just placed today. So
all right, hold on.
I just sent you a message to Jesse whenever you get a chance.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm doing a show here, man.
I know.
I totally forgot about this one. How did I not? I know I saw this. Maybe I saw it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I see stuff in the Cabal and not here.
Yeah.
So this is a Baron Volliger parts mixed and painted to match.
Varga. Don't even ask me. Yeah.
Borgus Vermilion.
Yeah, I painted the neck.
This shield is a pain in the ass to paint.
Yeah. I did the shield, chest, shoulders, and collar and tabard to match.
Man, that's sick. And that's a Von Berg head.
Okay. Yeah, from the subscription box.
All right. Curtis, talk a minute. I'm reading a message that my co-host sent me.
Yeah. So, you know, the whole, I know Anthony's got like a whole island now, like a bunch of artists together and stuff over there. I believe the in the area that the Horsemen were at last year, because they're going to be in a separate room now. So you're saying that you're going to be over in that area with them?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was told I had no choice.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're bringing dwarf customs, yeah, you're probably going to get forced to bring them over there. But I tell you what, that's the best place to be because Anthony can sell some dwarf customs. I know like Steven had one that he was trying to sell over at the Wolf King section pretty much all convention last year. And then Anthony had him bring it over to his table. I think he had sold it within like an hour. So yeah, Anthony can sell some dwarves, that's for sure. So that's where you want to be. You got any other cons before that you're going to, or is that pretty much the main one for this year?
Well, I'm going to hang out at Joe Fest on Saturday to go see because I think there's a street team event there. And then I'm going to IshCon just to hang out. But actually, we're doing our first local meetup here in July 20th, I believe. Dub's in the chat. He can if he's still in the chat, he can give the details. He's hosting.
He gonna be grilling again and making a bunch of food for everybody and all that?
No, we're actually doing it. There's a weekend. It's Charlie's Collectible Show, I believe it's called. And they're kind of like you hear of Herb Frankensons out in California where it's every weekend. It's a great like a weekend show. There you go. Dub just had it there.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Stop it.
Okay,
Curtis.
I got it. I got it.
There, Charlie's Collectible Show. There you go.
July 20th, 10 to 6, Charlie's Collectible Show. Okay.
Yep.
And where is that at?
It's in Smyrna, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
I'm sorry, where?
Smyrna. Ginger Kid Toys, who's an approved retailer, will be there. And then Dub's bringing, having a few of us come out there. I'll be there selling some stuff. And I know some other people are coming down. So
I mean, if Big Dub's not traveling with a grill that he has to like hook onto the back of his vehicle and bring down there and making a bunch of food for everybody, what's the point? I mean, he's supposed to cook. That's what I heard.
So and it's a street team event with Ginger Kid Toys, as Dub said. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says horseman table prices. You know
okay.
what?
Only one of you guys can click.
I
you want me to do it?
You
want me to do it?
I thought Curtis would be taking care of the thing.
I thought you were still working on the thing that I messaged you about.
That took me about 2 seconds, and I did it before the show. For some reason, it didn't save to your copy.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, that'll be exciting. So I'm gonna have that's why Lynn was trying to get my stickers done in time for me, and he's also working on a table banner for me. Because my good buddy designed me a logo. So
cool. Do you already have it like on your Instagram or anything, or is it yet to be revealed?
No, it's on a bunch of the photos and stuff. And it's actually my buddy Matt. I'm drawing a blank right now. Dinosaur dude. The Kickstarter with the dinosaurs.
Rodriguez.
Thank you. He knew I was looking for an idea for a sign or for a logo, and he had the idea of an old school white and black street sign.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I was going to say it looked like. And
so I went to an artist friend of mine who's one of my best friends. He also designed my memorial tattoo for my mother.
Wow.
And he just went to town with it, and I thought it looked cool. So
Big Dub does say that they'll be meeting up at his house either the night before or after. So apparently food will be provided. So there you go.
And Len and Big Dub are working on something else too. Like, there's so much going on at Wolf King that I don't know.
Hey, welcome to the club, man. There's so many, dude. There's so many channels and in channels and out channels, and yeah. I'll get shown something from somebody that went to a show. And they're like, "Oh, look at this piece." And I'm like, I had no idea that existed.
Is one of them
I thought it was in Wolf King, but yeah, you never know. And then V-Dog says, "Matt, can I be your apprentice on these customizations?"
I feel like I am a Padawan myself still. So
no,
it's a process, that's for sure, and we all feel that way. Like we said before, you're your own worst critic. I think that's something that most of us have in common. So
the best advice I could give to somebody that wants to be an apprentice is don't judge yourself based off of what other people are doing. Like,
oh yeah,
I was real bad at that at the start of doing this, and just appreciate what everybody else is doing. It doesn't have to be the same. I mean, we can't all be a mill, right? Like it's a different level, or Eric Miller, right? Like it's a different level, but we can all do things that,
And I would take that even a step further and say, don't work on things that you think people want. Work on things that you want to do, because some people get caught up in that. They're like, oh, well, people are really buying, this type of figure, or they're buying that type of figure, or they just want heads, or they just want this and that. Whatever makes you happy, that's what you should work on, because that's what you're going to get the most enjoyment out of. And then you're probably going to grow as an artist by doing the things that you're interested in as well. So
yeah. And don't force yourself to paint. I've made that mistake. Like now, like if I'm not feeling it, I just get up and walk away. Like don't force yourself to paint, because you're not going to enjoy it.
That can be tricky though. Like I get it if you're kind of stuck on a project. Like you were saying one earlier, you were like, I just wanted to be done with it. And I've totally gotten to that space. Or if you get to a spot where creatively you don't know where to go with one, you may need to jump to something else. But I've also fallen into periods where I haven't painted for long periods of time, and then it's not good for my mental health. and even the people around me are like, you're not very fun to be around right now. You're kind of being an asshole. So so I would watch out with that because you can kind of take that to the extreme as well. And something that I found is, like, even if like maybe you got a custom that you've been working on that's like really stressful, or it's just very detailed, it's a lot of work, and you're like, man, I really don't feel like doing that. Do something else. Do some light dry brushing. Go back to painting some rivets or whatever. Because even if you just tell yourself, hey, I'm just going to dry brush a couple weapons today, and then you get into it and you start doing it, odds are you're going to want to do more things, and you're going to want to keep going, because sometimes it's just that, getting over starting is sometimes the thing. But I get what you're saying totally too. Like, don't force yourself to work on a project that you're not currently feeling. Yeah. But I will say, like, for me, and we've talked it up a bunch here too over the last several months, but the customizing studio has been amazing, because it means that, no matter what else I go do throughout the week, I know on Sundays I'm going to be painting no matter what. I'm going to be creating on Sunday. So if I get time during the rest of the week, great. But Sundays, I know I'm going to be there hanging out with friends, and I'm going to be working on something. So
I find my issue is I'll have an idea. I'm going to work on this project, and then I'll dig through and I'm looking for something else. And that's why I was playing around with this guy. So I found this head that I bought from Mythic Bits at Legion's Con. And when I had it in my hand, all of a sudden it became the project that I had to do, where I did my, my Highwayman guy. Sometimes something just strikes you, and you'll knock, like, I knocked this thing out way quicker than I was expecting to.
Yeah, you'll have like 5 or 10 projects lined up, and then that have been there for a while, and then all of a sudden you just see this one piece that you're like, oh, I've got to do this thing like right now. Like, it's and yeah, I mean, do what you feel, man, because you're gonna get a whole lot more enjoyment out of it that way.
I have a poor dwarf that's been pushed to the back of the line about 100 times. Like, I don't want to deal with him right now.
Well, I mean, they're little. They're easy to push around. So, yeah. No, I totally get it. I've got a drawer full of projects, and some of them have been sitting in there for upwards of a year or more, and it's just you got to do what you're feeling at the time. And sometimes you'll have a custom that you've got your mind to do, but it just doesn't feel right, and then all of a sudden something will come along and it'll be like the perfect part, and you're like, okay, that's it. That's what I was waiting for. Like the last one I did with the Sir Jeramore, where he's like kind of half demon, half human and stuff. Like, I've had that part, I've had the torso and the head forever, and I don't know, for some reason I just couldn't envision the whole thing. And then all of a sudden I got this idea to use a Thygar arm attached to the demon part, and then to throw one of the Malfar wings on there. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's what I was waiting on. Now let's go full speed ahead. But yeah, if you're not feeling it, if it's not the way you want it to be if you can't envision it, try something different. Work on something that you are going to be happy with. So definitely. Or like Zombie says, suck it up, Buttercup. Anyway. So
I don't really have anything to add to that. You guys kind of hit pretty much any point I think I would have had. So well done.
Oh, come on, Jesse. You got something.
Well, no, it's just like I was trying to paint some of those dragon like head things that Len has from Wolf King to go with the what does he call it? Sexy Thygar, the shirtless.
Oh yeah,
Thygar.
where it's like the neck and the head.
Yeah, it's like the little collar. Well, it's just the collar.
Oh yeah.
But it's got like head, and it's got like I couldn't match the blue. Like it's the first time I couldn't get it. I'm not saying I paint match everything spot on, but it was the first time I got it. I couldn't get it even close to be happy for myself, let alone to put out for sale.
I hate paint matching so much.
Yeah, and like that one, there's so much. There's nothing to hide on that one, and that's the point of that one. And so I was just like, all right, I put it aside for a little bit, came back to it, might even been the next day. I worked on other stuff. So that's the thing for me. If I get stuck on something, I'll either keep doing it until I ruin the part, Or the better version, what I most often do is I'll set it aside, work on other things, you know, then try to come back to it. Sometimes I figure out that one I couldn't, so I just did black and red and tried to make them match other, because I was doing the paint for sale at the Wolf King table, so they weren't just for me.
You know what is, I'm gonna tell you something weird that's really worked for me is sometimes when I have a problem like that I can't figure out, like I think about it before bedtime, and I tell you what, I have woken up at like 3 o'clock in the morning dreaming about the way to fix it, and all of a sudden I gotta like go right downstairs. Like sometimes your brain can work that stuff out while you're not even conscious. So and I wanted to pull this up from Kent because in one of our chats not too long ago, somebody was asking who Zombie was, and I responded this: "Do you even Cabal, bro?" Because like in the Cabal, obviously he doesn't use Zombie, you know, as his name, but it's like, come on, this guy's infamous, but which means more famous.
That's the thing. Like I was calling him Eric. What? Because like I didn't know the Zombie name when I came in, because like he did the female Fuzzmonk with the Mephitor head and the Artemis torso or whatever it was. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that like unlocked a whole thing for doing Fuzzmonk Man, I can't. Woodland Goblin customs for me, and and when I remember talking to Jeremy one time, he's like, "Who is this Eric guy?" I was like, "I don't know. He's got like the skull," and he's like, "Oh, Zombie." It's like I know his name is Eric, but you keep saying Zombie, and I like, or you keep saying Eric instead of Zombie, and it just throws me off.
Yeah, nobody calls him Eric. That's funny. Awesome. Well, Matt, it's been amazing looking at your work. You've been on a great journey, and just such progress over the last year and a half. And can't wait to see what you bring to Legions Con. I know it's going to be fire.
Maybe some God's Fire.
Yeah, some God's Fire would be great. Some gray dwarves. And yeah, you'll be seeing me over at your table. So the great and powerful Zombie. Yep. So
I appreciate you having me on. I watch all the time, so I always watch that for like, am I going to be on the shelf selection? Am I going to be on the so it's always,
man, I tell you what, we were going through there tonight, and I think we must have found about 4 or 5 of them that have been shelf selections over the past year. So I mean, being in it as short a period as you've been painting, that's pretty dang good. Yeah, you've been doing some really awesome work, and definitely send me that color for that green on that light, because that is, man, that was amazing. So
yeah, like I said, I'll dial back the self insulting critique and just say that your stuff is very inspiring, and
thank you.
I kind of don't want to go to bed tonight, but I know I need to at some point. But tomorrow I'm gonna be looking at some of your pictures.
Hey, we're gonna open up the studio tomorrow on Memorial Day. Jesse and I are gonna be painting tomorrow. So if anybody, I know there's some people out there that have told me a few times, hey, we can't make it on Sunday because this, that, or the other. If you're off tomorrow, we're going to be opening up the studio. I don't know what time yet, but be looking in the Cabal for a post, because we're going to be opening up tomorrow, and we're going to be painting and having fun. So awesome. Well, Matt, thank you for coming out. We look forward to seeing you at Legions Con with your stuff. For anybody that's going to JoeCon or going to this
Ishcon.
Other one, Ishcon too. Yep. Make sure you stop by and see Matt. And if you want some of his wares, go to the Torforge Island over in at Legions Con, and you'll be able to find Matt's stuff, as well as a lot more dwarves and all kinds of other cool stuff there. So we really appreciate you coming on. It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it was a blast. I
appreciate
appreciate
it, much, Matt.
Beautiful. We're gonna we're gonna put you backstage.
Okay.
If you've got to run, totally understand that. But if not, hang out, and after we close out the show, we'll be right back with you.
All right, man.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, Matt.
That was another fun one, man.
Yeah, it was
very inspiring. I like when we get to look at art for most of the show. That's fun. So
I don't remember if it was you or someone else, but I was talking, we should do an episode at some point this year where we maybe just have rotating guests, not like a specific guest, and just do an entire night of shelf selections.
Do you know, I was kind of thinking something with that, like, because I was looking the other day. I don't know about you, but like all the shelf selections that I do, I put them in a photo album on my phone. And I currently have 382 shelf selections in that album. And I was like, man, it'd be cool at some point to just like do like a show. Maybe we don't go through all of them, but where we like take like a bunch of the ones that we've had as shelf selections over the past year or something and kind of recap and look at them.
That would be cool. I was thinking just do one where it's just all we just take turns pulling up different accounts and looking at stuff like live on the fly.
Okay. Do like Trevor's photobomb and steal it from him and do a whole show like that. I'm totally fine with that. That's great, by the way. We could even have Nate on, so it'll be like the imitation Trevor.
Sure. Oh, maybe we should do that with Bill.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
And never mind, my brain's not functioning.
We do have some openings coming up in June, by the way. So if there's somebody that's been really dying to be on the show, let us know, because we've got a couple openings in June that we need to try to fill. So
I just picked up my drink and I don't know what I was looking for to be underneath my drink.
I don't know. Wholesome Warlock says create a slideshow of them and upload as a separate video. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this weekend told me that slideshows aren't cool anymore. Like you got to do cool videos. So Trevor's saying it. I steal ideas. Hey man, at least I recognize that it was stealing your idea.
But self selections isn't just about good photographs.
No, that it's not when it's 4 pictures and we go through it. But when you're talking about like pulling up people's thing and looking through it, that's exactly what he does on Photobomb.
One episode, just one, and all right, yeah, okay, all right, cool, Trevor. We'll have you on to do it.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right.
Or we
if you want to hang out with us, we'll
we could get all 3 of them guys on. They're all fun.
Sure,
I like them.
I'm trying to steal your idea. I just thought it would. Someone was talking about how much they loved the shelf selections with me, and I was
also love Photobomb though. So
a whole show where we just go through, like a whole shelf selection type show.
That'd be cool.
Which I've admitted I stole that from Legion's cast when they would describe stuff.
Kind of, but not really, because they did it on an audio podcast where they're describing the customs. That's not the same as showing them.
But that's where the idea for shelf selection on this show literally came from. I was like, ooh, I'm going to do that.
Ooh, there you go. Jordan says we can make it into a musical. So musical shelf selections.
Oh, we don't have the copyright.
All right. Well, this was a fun show, but I'm sure we got another one next week. You want to tell the folks what we got lined up?
Next week, we've got another awesome member of the Cabal Legions community. Nope, words not processing. We've got Steve Mack joining us here on Shooting the Shelf next Sunday night at 8 p.m.
Otherwise known as?
What did I say?
Oh, you said Steve Mank, but I'm saying otherwise known as Articulated Times on Instagram.
Oh, gosh.
In case any of you you may not recognize the name Steve May. Maybe you recognize Articulated Times. Be on next week. And just so you know, he did beat me up at Muskecon, held me down to the ground, and forced me to take an AWOC figure. So I look forward to talking to him about that next week, because I really did not want to get into that line, and he forced me to. So yeah, we need to have it out. So
yes, sorry, I thought when you said also known as, I thought I said something wrong. I was not putting together.
No, I was throwing out his other moniker,
his handle
that people may know him by. So
goodness.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that's it, everybody, folks. Everybody, folks.
And if you're not busy tomorrow, join us in the customizing studio.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be on probably. I mean, I'll be ready to do it well before the normal 1 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know about you, Curtis, but
sure. You just let me know when you're ready, buddy.
Okay. So yeah, we'll set out a message and all that stuff, and anybody that wants to and can join in, we'll do it like we do on Sunday, but on Monday.
Yeah. And also, until next time,
What's on your shelf? Boom, enabled. No!